Right now I'm checking out the deadly war in Bedfordshire. Battle for Luton. So let's see what's going on in Luton, man.
Luton, a town just north of London with a reputation that precedes itself.
Yeah, I'm good, KJ.
Known for its working class roots and gritty neighbourhoods, Luton's story is one
Luton's where Andrew Tate's from, right? I think so. Also, I think the only rapper I know from there is Rex.
of resilience amid challenges, from high crime rates to tales of violence on estates like Marsh Farm. Luton is a place where life can be tough, but it's also a town that's produced some of the most polarizing figures. You've probably heard of names like Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, and
Yeah.
Tommy Robinson, who've made
Oh, Tommy Robinson is from there as well.
headlines for a number of reasons. Luton is
Okay.
littered with gangs all vying for control of the lucrative drug trade. The gangbangers resort to extreme violence to keep their turfs. Join me as I dive into the battle for Luton, exploring its criminal underbelly and the people who shaped its name, for better or worse. Now, LTS is a small street gang based around Stopsley. LTS stands for Lucy to Slopsley and L-Town Steppers. The gang reps the colour white. The gang is split into two sets, with one of them being called S2K or Shoot to Kill. Now LTS have war with CHK, which stands for Chalk Hill Killers. CHK are based around Lucy Farm, postcode LU4. We also have the Graveside and Marsh Farm Alliance. Graveside, also known as 347, are located.
Okay, hold on. I gotta check this out properly. My bad.
For better or worse. Now LTS is a small street gang based around Stopsley.
Okay, so we got one over here, one down there. Okay, so kind of spread out.
LTS stands for Lucy to
It doesn't look as tight as in London.
Slopsley and L-Town Steppers. The gang reps the colour white. The gang is split into two sets, with one of them being called S2K or Shoot to Kill. Now LTS have war with CHK, which stands for Chalk Hill Killers. CHK are based around Lucy Farm, postcode LU4. We also have the
Yeah, that's what it looks like, man. It's a whole trip.
Graveside and
Some of them do like kind of border each other, but some of them look kind of
Marsh
far.
Farm Alliance. Graveside, also known as 347, are located around the Lee Grave area of Luton within the LU4 postcode. Marsh Farm are based in the Marsh Farm area of Luton within the LU3 postcode. Both areas are allied in their war against OBK. Now OBK, also known as Forside and also Fours, are based in the Lucy Farm and Hockwell Ring areas of Luton within the LU4 postcode. OBK flag yellow. Rapper Nath Smalls is also from this block.
Oh, Nath is from Luton. I was thinking it was him in the thumbnail, but I wasn't sure. I'm not gonna lie.
There's also ARG, which stands for Armed Response Gang, which are a gang based in Farley Hill and Bury Park in Luton within the LU1 postcode. They are predominantly of South Asian origin. They also have a small subset around Runley Road called Runley, who are known to flag white. They have beef with Kingsway Park, which is a gang based around the Kingsway Park area of Luton, also within the LU1 postcode. They are known to flag black and are allies with P6 in their war against ARG. P6 are a gang based.
Yeah, after all of this, I'm gonna need some type of showing me who's with who and who's against who. If you named armed response, you gotta have the most weapons. I mean, kind of.
Around the Biscuit area of Luton.
There's no way I'm gonna remember all these gangs and who's beefing who, man.
Within the LU3 postcode, they are known to flag brown. There's also Parkside, which are a gang based around the Hutton Regis and Hutton Hamlets area of Luton, within the LU5 postcode. The gang mainly reps the colour purple and has war with IC3 and LTS. The IC3 is a small gang based around the Icknield Road area and Marsh Road. The gang reps the colour green, despite mainly focusing
It's crazy the amount of gangs there is over there still. Like, even in a town like Luton.
money rather than beef.
Let me check
They
real
have a
quick how many
long-standing
people
rivalry
live
with
there.
Parkside and are mainly allied with nearby
Luton.
LTS. Now let's have a look at these two men, Kyle Beckford and Delaney Brown. They were
225,000 people.
once school friends attending Denby High School in Luton together. Over time, however, they drifted into rival gangs. Delaney Brown was a Hockwell Ring member and became known as Dell's Man in the streets, while Kyle Beckford became a Marsh Farm member. On the evening of the 5th of September 2012, Delaney Brown was cycling on a stolen bicycle along the pavement of Vincent Road in Luton. Kyle Beckford, driving a stolen silver BMW Series 1, deliberately mounted the pavement and struck Brown at speed. The impact was severe, locking the car and bicycle together, deforming the bicycle's rear wheel and propelling Delaney Brown into a brick gate post or wall. The force of the collision caused catastrophic injuries, including a crossed chest and broken neck, leading to Delaney Brown's death almost
R.I.P. man.
instantly at the scene.
Dina tänder är unika.
They actually hit him with a car. There's gotta be some power in that hit for him to die, I guess. That's crazy.
The prosecution described the car as a weapon used deliberately to target Brown. Witnesses reported that Beckford was not alone. 3 other young men were in the car and another was riding a moped nearby, suggesting a coordinated attack. The incident was framed as a targeted attack rooted in gang-related tensions. Bedfordshire police launched a murder inquiry on the 8th of September 2012. The investigation was challenging due to difficulties in securing witness statements, as fear of retaliation within the community hindered cooperation.
It's gonna
Despite
be like
this,
that.
Police made significant progress. 8 men were arrested in connection with the case. Kyle Beckford, aged 22, was charged with murder and appeared before Luton's magistrate court on the 9th of November 2012. 7 others, aged between 16 and 22, were arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to murder, but were released on bail. A 26-year-old initially arrested for causing death by dangerous driving was released without charge. Beckford initially denied being behind the wheel at the time of the collision, claiming he had driven a car earlier that day but not during the incident. However, during trial he admitted to driving the vehicle and pleaded guilty to manslaughter, though he denied intent to kill or cause serious harm. The court heard that there were
I'm guessing it's gonna be hard to prove actual murder when you're hit by a car, because you can easily say like you didn't mean to kill him, you just meant to like hurt him.
substantial hostilities between these groups, marked by violent incidents in the months leading up to Brown's death. These included an attack on Brown's home, where he lived with his grandmother, Doreen Taylor, during which kitchen window was smashed and the front door was damaged. A clash between gangs involving machetes requiring police intervention. An alleged ambush of Beckford's cousin by members of the Lucy Farm gang, which Beckford cited as the reason for targeting Brown. Beckford claimed he only intended to scare Brown, not kill him, because he believed Brown was involved in the ambush and had denied it. On the 15th of May 2013, the jury unanimously found Beckford guilty of murder, rejecting his manslaughter plea and determining he intended to kill or cause serious harm.
I'm guessing it must have been a pretty high speed then to actually get him convicted of murder, man.
To Brown. Judge Richard Foster sentenced Beckford to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 24 years. The judge condemned Beckford's lack of remorse, stating, "You showed a complete lack of remorse. Any tears are for the position you now find yourself in and not for the death of Delaney Brown." He also criticized the gang culture in Luton, saying there's no excuse for it, and praised anonymous witnesses for their bravery.
After the sentencing today, Delaney's grandfather also called Delaney told of the family's grief.
It is very sad to know that Delaney Brown's life was extinguished for no justifiable cause and his full potential not realised by the hand of someone who was once called a friend.
On the 9th of April 2013, Paul Foster, a 46-year-old father of three, was
Harleston. That's in London, right?
shot in the chest outside a house on Brunel Road. Friends drove him to Luton and Dunstable Hospital, where he later died. The incident was
R.I.P., man.
reported to have occurred in the early hours, and police noted a white Ford Transit-style van speeding away from the scene, which they were interested in tracing. Additionally, two cars, a silver BMW and a silver Vauxhall Corsa, were found abandoned near the hospital.
Yeah, that's crazy actually, man. It happened like 12 years ago and it's like 12 years left. Damn. He's probably gonna get out a bit earlier with like good behavior, I'm assuming, but still crazy.
Paul Foster, also known as Big Shine or Shinehead, was a well-known figure in Harlesden, Brent, before moving to Luton in 2003, where many claim he later became a Lucy Farm member, while others claim he turned his life around, worked as a cleaner and driver, was involved in the community work, including mentoring young people and helping them pursue recording contracts through a studio he operated. His family and associates emphasized that he had distanced himself from any criminal past through his connections in Harlesden and Lucy Farm area may have linked him to individuals involved in criminal activities. Paul Foster was also the uncle of Delaney Brown, the 19-year-old murdered in September 2012
Oh, he was his uncle. Damn.
on the Lucy Farm estate. There is no definitive evidence that Foster himself was an active gang member at the time of his death. His murder took place during a period of heightened gun crime in Luton, with 27 shootings reported in 2013, particularly between
How much?
with 27 shootings reported in 2013.
That doesn't sound crazy for a year.
Particularly between January and May.
Okay, between January and May, so it's in less than half a year then. That's a bit more.
The Lucy Farm and Marsh Farm estates were noted for ongoing gang-related violence, with rivalries between gangs from those areas contributing to the crime wave. Foster's killing was the first gun-related fatality of the year in Luton, and a third of 10 shooting incidences reported by May 2013.
One whole year on, police admit their investigation is no further forward. Paul Foster's killers remain at large. The 46-year-old was shot dead as he left a friend's house late at night on April the 9th last year. Today, his family called on the community to end their silence.
No longer his children can say we've got a father. Why?
This is the same guy that had to talk about. It was his grandson first. Now I'm guessing this should be his son then. If it was the other guy's uncle. Damn, so did he lose his grandson and then his son as well? Because that's crazy, man.
My husband, family members, and he was innocent. So people need to come forward to see that justice is done.
That's unfortunate, man.
A £10,000 reward for information has been offered, but remains unclaimed. Detectives say witnesses should not be frightened of talking to police.
I'm convinced there's eyewitnesses out there that hold the key to this investigation. If they come forward, have the courage, give us a statement, and then give their evidence in court, we can look after them, we can protect them, we can offer them rewards, we can get them out of Luton.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, even me, like, I would never trust the police to keep me safe. I'm not gonna lie. Not over here, and probably not over there. Like, it's just not happening, man.
But they need to have the confidence to come forward.
Mr. Foster's family say they're desperate for justice.
If you could speak directly to those who murdered Paul, or those who knew who murdered Paul, what would you say to them?
They need to come forward and release the family that has got in so much despair, because killers not been brought to book. So please come forward. We need you to speak. The police will protect you.
Paul Foster was a father and husband. His family say he was an innocent victim in the wrong place at the wrong time. Neil Bradford, BBC Look East, Luton.
Now in September 2018, Graveside member Capo along with another member would be walking around Luton shopping centre when they spotted Shay Stevens, who was a Hart Lane member, which is a set based in the Hart Hill area of Luton, predominantly around Hart Lane within the LU2 postcode, and have beef with the 347, also known as Graveside. Now the two Graveside members armed with knives would then proceed to approach him. Shay Stevens, despite being smaller than both of his attackers and outnumbered, showed immense courage and fought back. He backed out his knife and instantly managed to stab one of them. The other member, who was Capo, then approached him knife in hand, but was overpowered, causing him to drop his knife and run off.
So this guy took them both down by himself. Crazy.
Hart Lane member then ran after him. Capo tripped and was repeatedly stabbed. The full CCTV is pretty grim. The two of them bloody, while Capo was seen dropping to the floor from blood loss. However, both would survive. All three men were later arrested and charged.
All three arrested as well, so no one made it. So, am I getting it right that all three of them got stabbed and all three got arrested? That sounds like a shit situation, man. Why keep this on screen when it's not showing us anything? Like what?
Despite being a wanted Shay Stevens, despite being the one to defend himself from two attackers, was sentenced to 7.5 years at Luton Crown Court.
He defended himself against the two guys and got 7.5 years. Probably just for even having a knife on him. But I mean, yeah, you can't claim self-defense with a knife when it's illegal to have a knife, right? That becomes the problem, I guess.
After admitting wounded with intent and possession of a blade. Capo, real name Lucasani, was sentenced to 5 years. His co-attacker, Imani Pobby da Silva, got 12 months.
Wait, so the guy that got the most was the one that got attacked from the jump? That's gotta piss you off though, I'm not gonna lie, man. So the guys that attacked you got less. That's mad.
On the 8th of June 2021, Parkside affiliate PAX, real name Humza Hussain, was outside of Townley High School for boys in Stonygate Road. The incident occurred between 3:30 and 3:45 PM, and Humza died in hospital shortly after 6 PM from
RIP. Did I miss what happened or
3
what?
stab wounds to the chest.
Oh,
The murder stemmed from a long-standing feud between Humza and
like
a
I said,
16-year-old
RIP, man.
Ibrahim Khan, who was later convicted of the crime. The conflict began with a school fight in October 2020, where Khan suffered a bloody nose, which Humza filmed on his phone. This incident led to Humza and a friend being permanently excluded.
that's the crazy thing. I feel like this is mainly because of social media, man. Because you got embarrassed, now you have to get back, or people are gonna think you're weak. But this whole like getting the get back with knives and guns and shit, like, I don't get it, man.
From Chanley High School, while Khan was transferred to another school. Prosecutors stated that Khan harbored a grudge and was determined to act the same sort of revenge on Humza. On the 7th of November 2020, another incident occurred, where Humza was attacked by a group allegedly at Khan's instigation. Khan reportedly instructed another youth to shank Humza, resulting in serious arm injuries. Humza chose not to press charges for this attack, which prosecutors suggested was motivated by Khan's desire to humiliate him after the earlier school fight. On the day of the murder, Khan was seen outside Chanley High School intimidating the 14-year-old brother of one of Humza's friends. allegedly showing a knife concealed in his trousers. Humza was armed and the older brother had a hammerhead. During the confrontation, the older brother threw the hammerhead at Khan, who then drew a large and savage-looking knife. Humza attempted to restrain Khan from behind, but Khan broke free and stabbed Humza 3 times in the chest. One wound nearly passed through his body,
This sounds like even though most of these killings are pointless, but this sounds even more pointless, man.
causing devastating injuries. Khan
Like
then
in
fled on
school
his
and
bike,
stuff.
hiding a knife and his phone to destroy evidence, while Humza was attended to by teachers, paramedics and passerbys before being taken to hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. On the 13th of June 2021, Ibrahim Khan, a 16-year-old from Atherstone Road, Luton, was charged with murder and possession of a bladed article. A second teenager was arrested for violent disorder but released on bail. The trial took place at Luton Crown Court, starting in November 2021. Khan pleaded not guilty, claiming self-defense, but did not testify. The prosecution, led by Richard Wright QC, argued the stabbing was a premeditated revenge attack, citing the prior incidents and Khan's
what it
action
sounds like.
in lowering Humza to the school by confronting the younger boy. CCTV footage of the October 2020 fight and social media posts were presented as evidence of the ongoing animosity, which may have been fueled by insults online. The jury rejected Khan's self-defense claim, and after less than 3 hours of deliberation, found him guilty of murder and possession of a bladed article on the 29th.
That was an easy one, I'm not gonna lie, man. It was pretty obvious murder, man.
9th of November 2021. On the 30th of November 2021, Mr. Justice sentenced Khan to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 16 years, lifting reporting
16.
restrictions to
And he was 16 years old and he got 16 years, right?
publicly identify him
Damn,
due to the
got the
gravity
same
of
as
the
his
offense.
age.
The judge noted Khan's lack of remorse, highlighted by his smirking at Humza's family during sentencing and
That's
shouting
crazy.
insults after the attack.
Smirking at the family is crazy, man.
18th of July 2021, ARG member Manny, real name Imran Sultan, was driving a Nissan X-Trail erratically on the M65, prompting police to pursue him after he failed to stop. He drove at high speeds, reaching up to 130 miles per hour, as indicated in a Snapchat post he made during the chase, and at times was
Snapchatting during the chase as well.
recorded at 90 to 100 miles per hour on the police dashcam footage. He overtook vehicles on blind bends and narrow roads, eventually losing control on Accrington Road. His car mounted the pavement, crashed through a fence and collided with a tree, flipping onto its side. Sultan suffered major head trauma and had his legs trapped behind the steering wheel. A female passenger walked away from the crash and was taken to hospital as a precaution. Manny later passed away in Royal Preston Hospital around 1:40 a.m.
That's crazy, man. Dying, running from the cops. RIP though, but damn, man.
on the 19th of July due to multiple injuries sustained in the collision. Manny did not have a valid driver's license and was uninsured to drive the vehicle, which likely motivated his refusal to stop for police.
Was that it? So no drugs or guns in the car even. Damn. That is not worth it, man. That's like a fine or something.
ARG member Wads will later honor him in this music video. On the 19th of April 2022 at 4:36
Yeah, me too, KJ.
p.m, OKP members will slide via car to the Marsh Farm. CCTV captured the moment Marsh Farm members spotted their ops driving and flipped the script. Shots were fired at the car in the Marsh Farm area. The car targeted an attack, crashed into a vehicle in front which contained an innocent family. Though they avoided serious injury,
So, oh, yeah, good, man.
the
I
trio
thought he was gonna say something bad happened to that family, man.
who were on push bikes and wearing black hoodies and face coverings fled the scene. Police later identified the three Marsh Farm members involved, and a week later, officers carried out early morning search warrants. Lewis Gatehouse and Samuel Martin were both arrested. The last man, Kendall Bizimana, handed himself into police station shortly after. Lewis Gatehouse and Busy Mana pleaded guilty to attempted grievous bodily harm with intent and 2 counts of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. Gatehouse also pleaded to possession of a prohibited weapon and a Class A and Class B drug offences. He received a total of 17 years and 8 months in jail.
Damn. For attempted GBH?
Gatehouse also pleaded to possession of a prohibited weapon and a Class A and Class B drug offences.
Oh, those drug offences as well.
He received a total of 17 years and 8
Damn,
months in
that's
jail.
a lot.
Busy Mana was handed a sentence of 11 years and 1 month for the firearm offences. A 6.5-year sentence for GBH
Shit.
will be served at the same time. Samuel Martin, 18 of Luton, pleaded guilty to attempted GBH with intent and threatening someone with a bladed weapon. He was jailed for a total of 5.5 years. Now on the 14th of
So
April,
was it the drugs that made the other sentences crazy?
2023, Greyside member YD, real name Derek Kinyua, was at a shop on Hitchin Road with a friend who he would then leave before turning into Crescent Road. He was then confronted by 4 OBK members outside an address on Crescent Road. 2 of them, armed with large knives, chased and attacked him. CCTV footage captured one of the attackers lunging at Kinyua, inflicting multiple stab wounds to his neck and chest. Following the altercation, YD collapsed at the intersection and was pronounced dead shortly after being taken to hospital. As we know, 4 individuals were involved in the confrontation, with 2 directly.
Some GMs proper crash outs randomly. Use the gunners. Some use it in a proper. Yeah, of course, man. Some people are crazier than others.
responsible for the stabbing.
Some
3
are
were
just
arrested and
loose
charged,
cannons.
while 1 remains at large. A 17-year-old boy who can't be named for legal reasons was charged with murder on the 25th of May 2023 and appeared at Luton's Magistrate Court on the 26th of May 2023. He was found guilty of murder on the 6th of November 2023. The 2 others who were at the scene, Malcolm Mangua, 23, of Verdi Close, Luton, and Shaquille Morton, 20, of Upwell Road, Luton, both known as SK and M Drills in the streets, were found not guilty of murder at Luton Crown Court. Now in early 2025, Marsh Farm member Mooney was stabbed and shot at in broad daylight by OKB members. Civilians managed to record paramedics tending to his wounds. Another shooting between Marsh Farm and OKB was captured, this time on a doorbell camera.
Yeah, these doorbell cameras are starting to come in clutch. Like, a lot of people got these now. Damn, what the fuck? Crazy sounds.
If you've been watching my content or any other gang related videos over the years, you would have noticed that in-house beef is common. Despite already having a lot of enemies, animosity between members of the same gang is very common. This was the case here, captured on camera, a Marsh Farm member brandishing a firearm and threatening to shoot another Marsh Farm member. Thankfully, it didn't escalate beyond threats.
That's crazy.
As for gang wars in Luton, it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon.
Imagine thinking you did proper research about cameras in the area. Yeah, man. We had Nath in the thumbnail. That was some clickbait shit, man. He literally just mentioned that he's from there. He had nothing to do with anything going on. But I get it though. Good video still.